The cells lining our stomachs replace themselves every 5 days. The surface layer of our skin exchanges itself every 2 weeks. Our environments live in us. The ochres were the fluid eastern boundary of the Goshute people. The Goshutes named the range the Ochres. That name is said to mean many things. It means cave mountain. There are caves at the southern end of the Ochres that were believed to be haunted by the shades of those who met death there in a conflict between Goshutes and another Indian tribe. It was known as the place of weeping, or wailing of ancestors. It means shining mountain. In the low light of dusk, the Ochres are the last to feel sun, and they shine. Goshutes caught, roasted, stored, and ate crickets. While they ate antelope and small game such as jackrabbits and squirrels, they primarily relied on plants. They were more gatherers than hunters. A Goshute elder said when the plants did not bear fruit, Goshutes went hungry. When the pine nuts didn't come out, they went hungry. They would eat everything. They ate the things that they knew about. When it tasted good, they would live on it and tell stories. It was like that with Indians long ago. Their life was marked by mobility, because living as they did, this arid land could support only one person for every 40 square miles. Today, the Goshute Skull Valley Indian Reservation is a little over 28 square miles. This was a land of mountains and aridity. It blessed the Goshutes with welcome isolation and protection. The U.S. government implemented their policy of Indian removal to displace native people from their homelands. The Goshutes avoided relocation. They were not willing to go to the land of the stranger. Now, at Skull Valley, they live on land of their ancestors. To the Goshutes, the Mormon settlers were ignorant of how to live on this land. The key, then, was to teach them to adapt. The name Goshute was given by others. They called themselves by another name. Goshutes called themselves tougher, covered with dust and bulletproof. The Goshute called it Sigo. It's thought to mean edible. One Goshute said, "I have observed the ways of the old people with my own eyes, walking among the sagebrush. We would collect the Sigo and eat them. We would take our maternal grandmother's and our mother's digging stick and go to that place and dig for the Sigo lily roots and eat them. We would gather what we had dug up, bring them home, and spread them out to dry. Sigo lilies prefer dry, sandy foothills. They will not grow in fertile gardens. They will die if given too much water." John Muir hiked the Ochres. He came in July 1877. He floated in the Great Salt Lake. He swam where the Ochres sink into salty foam. He wrote of the Ochres swelling calmly into the cool sky, the simplicity of their slopes preventing their real loftiness from being appreciated. He painted in words the gray, sagey plains at their base, the muted purple from small oaks, and the dark pine woods filling glacial hollows, being topped with a smooth crown of snow. He decided after the swim he would have another baptism and bathe in the high sky. On the slopes he found the whole mountainside aglow with what he called gardens of lilies. The beauty of it all delighted him. Muir harvested a bouquet of ochre wildflowers on his descent. He concluded the writing of his Utah visit by declaring that among my memories of this strange land, that ochre mountain, with its golden lilies, will ever rise in clear relief. He wrote that if neighboring mountains are as rich in lilies, then this may well be called the Lily Range. The Lily Range. Sigo lilies prefer dry, sandy foothills. They will not grow in fertile gardens. They will die if given too much water. The Mormons called it Sigo lily. An early Mormon settler wrote that in the spring of 1848 our food was gone. Along in the month of April we noticed all the foothills were one glorious flower garden. The snow had gone. The ground was warm. We dug thousands of seagull roots, for we heard that the Indians had lived on them for weeks and months. We relished them and carried them home in bucketfuls. How the children feasted on them, particularly when they were dried, for they tasted like butternuts. The name Mormons was given by others. They called themselves by another name. Mormons called themselves Chosen, Bull Beaters, and Deseret. To the Mormons, the Goshute did not yet know the true God or how to farm. The key, then, was to teach them to adapt. This was a land of mountains and aridity. It blessed the Mormons with welcome isolation and protection. Pushed by violence, Mormons fled Illinois and sought a place far away in the west. They sang in a hymn, "Now my own mountain home, unto thee I have come. All my fond hopes are centered in thee." For the Mormons, this was a gathering place. In 2014, the population of Salt Lake County was 1.09 million people. The first Mormons described a beautiful valley of some 20 by 30 miles in extent, with a lofty range of mountains on the east and a beautiful line of mountains on the west, watered with daily showers. The soil of the valley appeared good, they said, but will require irrigation to promote vegetation. They were farmers more than gatherers. The Mormons planted potatoes on the first day they entered the valley. Irrigation gates opened. Arid dirt felt water as it never had. The next spring, crickets ate the settlers' already scarce crops. Mormons fought the crickets with brooms, but the crickets stayed, and the Mormons prayed for relief. Gulls from the sky ate crickets. The Mormons, using the Goshute name, called the range the Ochres. It is said to mean many things. It means shining mountain. In the low light of dawn, the Ochres are the first descent sun, and they shine. It means wooded mountain. For the Mormons, the Ochres' initial value lay in timber and grazing. The first building in the Ochres canyons was a cabin. Then timber mills followed. The church's tabernacle on Temple Square is built from trees of these mountains. The Ochres are the western boundary of the valley where the Mormons first arrived. The Ochres would have been the first mountains they'd see, coming over the Wasatch. The surface layer of our skin exchanges itself every 2 weeks. The cells lining our stomachs replace themselves every 5 days. Our environments live in us.